Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Sean Lang. Now, I've spent the last several years building and operating a digital agency that's grown past 50 people, and that's definitely shaped how I think about the things that really matter when it starts to get complex. Now, before we get into the episode, just a reminder that I've got a free community with tons of helpful agency resources over at agencyuplift.co/group. So you'll find resources, you'll find templates, you'll find AI tools, and we're building a small community of agency owners that can kind of learn from each other and grow together. So anyway, hop over there, agencyuplift.co/group. Okay, on to the episode. This is another solo episode. Today, I'm going to be talking about 10 things that agency owners are afraid to admit out loud. Things that they would actually never say out loud. They would never post this on LinkedIn. They would never tell clients. They would never tell other agency owners unless they really, really trust them. The thing is, guys, and as an agency owner myself, and you being an agency owner, we know that this is a very, very difficult thing. It doesn't feel so difficult when you're starting out, or before you start out, you think that this is going to be easy. There's a low barrier to entry. There's little to no investment needed. You can basically, literally anyone can just, put up a shingle and say, I'm an agency now, and start taking on clients. But as we've learned, as you've learned, as I've learned, it's much more difficult than that. And it starts to get more and more and more difficult. So here are 10 things that you won't find any agency owner saying this out loud unless it's to somebody that they really trust. I hear these things a lot because I'm a coach. I'm trusted by lots of agency owners. And I've also thought or said these things out loud as well before too. So the first one is everything still runs through me. Outwardly, the agency looks like a team. It looks like a business. It looks like a company. But privately, I still have to make every single big decision. Clients don't really seem to trust the team as much as they trust me. So I still have to handle things because the client trusts me and I cannot lose that client. And the strategy still depends on me as well. Clients think that my strategists are coming up with a strategy, but I'm still the one going through and correcting it and actually telling my team how it should be. It's still, at the end of the day, it's still me. The uncomfortable truth is that if I stepped away for 2 weeks, things would slow down fast and they would realistically probably break and I would be coming back to something unrecognizable and I would be firefighting, which is why I haven't taken a vacation in 7 years. Sound familiar? I'm not talking about myself, but I have been in that place in the past. Number two is I'm not actually sure what my team does all day. This one comes up so constantly. As the founder, we know that people are busy. We keep them busy. We give them lots of tasks. We give them lots of things to do, and the clients keep them busy as well. But what founders generally can't answer clearly is what output should each person produce weekly, right? What does good performance actually look like? Without knowing these things, performance is very subjective, and we just grade people's performance and ability and output by just how busy they are. And that's actually not, clients aren't hiring us to be busy on their behalf. Clients are hiring us to actually produce results. And if we don't actually know what our team is doing all day, it's really hard to tell. Number three is some of my clients aren't actually profitable. Now, this is because founders get very romantic about revenue. Where are you at? What's my revenue this, revenue that? But if a founder really broke it down and looked at meeting time, looked at revisions, looked at strategy calls, looked at scope creep, some clients are quietly draining the business. And most founders, if you're listening right now, you can probably think of at least one or two clients that are draining your business right now. The insidious thing here is that what ends up happening is you'll have one or two really, really great clients where things just work. They're easy to work with. The work that you do gets results and you're very, very profitable. But what happens is these clients, these really, really profitable, good fit clients ends up subsidizing the bad fit clients, which you probably have more than a few of. And this is because we don't have visibility. Number four, and this is a huge one, is if my best person left, I'd be in trouble. Think right now of your best person. Just close your eyes and think about them. Now, think of the day, because this day will come. Think of the day when either they say, hey, can I talk to you for a second? Or they send you an email. Or maybe they just don't show up one day. But the message or the email or the talk is, hey, so I've really loved working here, but I've actually taken a new opportunity at a different agency, and this is my 2 weeks. I've been in that position multiple times. It feels like shit. right? It feels like the rug has been pulled out from underneath you because this was the one person that you knew you could count on. So one person that you gave the most important tasks to, the ones where like this has to work, you give it to them. And it was just a relief for you because you yourself didn't have to do it. Almost every single agency has one or two people like this, key people. We call them the key man. We call having this person, this is key man risk, because if they leave, you cannot replace them without great cost to the business or without great cost to operations, major impact to client relationships, et cetera. Because these people generally, they manage client relationships, they hold historical or tribal knowledge, and they fix problems quietly, quickly, and simply. So if they left, the agency would feel it so strongly immediately. All of us have at least one of these people. Number 5 is I don't actually know my numbers as well as I should. And again, I touched on this before, but founders are very, very obsessed with top line revenue. But we need to actually ask deeper questions, right? What is the true client profitability? What are the delivery margins at the agency? What is the cost to fulfill a single client, right? What is the capacity per role? If we ask these questions, generally we get fuzzy answers or no answers. And this is because founders run their agency on intuition more than visibility. Because intuition feels better than actually seeing the information, seeing the data, and also taking the time to build systems so that we can actually have that data. Number 6, sometimes I feel like I built myself a job. Let's actually change sometimes to often. Now, at the beginning, the founder creates the agency to get freedom for themselves. But over time, as it grows, it becomes more clients, it becomes more people, more responsibility, more decisions, bigger decisions. Founders will eventually realize that the business owns more of them than they expected. You thought that you were building the business to support you, but quickly you find that the business is something that you need to support. You need to keep it alive. And it often becomes, or it feels kind of like a trap. Number 7 is I avoid difficult conversations with my team. Many founders pride themselves on being good people. And I mean, it's important to be a good person. It's important to be good. It's important to be kind. But the problem is this can lead to giving delayed feedback to your team or not at all. This leads to tolerating underperformance because you don't want to be mean. You don't want to hurt their feelings. This can mean avoiding uncomfortable conversations. And it's not because you don't care. It's because the confrontation feels exhausting and because you don't want to hurt people. That's not a bad thing. It just means that you need to know this about yourself and you need to build, again, systems, structure to work around these blind spots that you surely do have in certain areas. Number 8 is I'm not sure that this agency would work without me. This one is often in the back of most of our minds because the agency appears stable, but you know how many things rely on your judgment, on your relationships, on your oversight. So you probably find yourself wondering, is this actually a business or is this just me with a bunch of stuff duct taped together, right? Number 9 is I'm still the best strategist in the agency. Now, many founders secretly know this, and often the team knows this too. So the team executes well, but when things get tricky, things like strategy, things like positioning, things like problem solving, things like, pushing big motions forward still come back to you. And this creates a long-term ceiling because the agency can only move as fast as you can since everything still relies on you. Number 10, and I've heard this before, I thought it would feel better than this. Or another reframe of this is, I never thought that this would feel so awful. I never thought that this would be so hard. This is the thing that, again, people will never say this publicly. People won't say this at a networking event. They won't say this on LinkedIn. They won't say this to clients, obviously. They won't say this to other agency owners. They'll say this to people like me, like coaches. Because from the outside, the agency looks successful, hopefully. And you don't want to remove that illusion, right? That's part of your ego. That's part of your pride. You are a proud agency owner. But on the inside, it all feels awful. So internally, you might feel constant pressure, like it never ends, or this deep responsibility for salaries. I know payroll's coming up again. I sure hope we could pay it. Or just decision fatigue, people asking you for 100 decisions every single day, and then just getting home and the work is done, but you just can't switch off. You lie in bed at night and you're just thinking of the problems that are going to come up tomorrow, the things that you need to still solve, the things that you didn't get done today that are going to pop up. Now, you chased growth getting here, expecting that there would be freedom at the end of that, but instead there was just more complexity and more chaos and more bad feelings, honestly. These are 10 things that agency owners will never admit out loud, but they say to me very, very often. It's a tough life you've chosen, but it is incredibly, incredibly rewarding if you stay the course, if you focus on the foundations, if you build the structure, and above all else, if you focus on your own personal growth, both as a human and also as the CEO of an agency. I hope this was helpful. And just one more reminder, there are lots of resources, tools, templates, frameworks over at agencyuplift.co/group. It's free. Head on over there, guys. It will help you out. Anyways, I'll see you in the next episode.